Here I'm performing a front foot elevated split squat. You can see I've gotten one foot in elevated position and I have rotated my pelvis such that my left butt cheek superimposes on my right butt cheek. Meaning if you see from a side view, you cannot see my right butt cheek sticking out. The whole point of this is that I want to keep my pelvis neutral and I do not want excessive rotation while doing this front foot elevated split squat, which is why I rotated it just ever so slightly forward on my left and backward on my right pelvis. Now the aim of this movement is a horizontal intent. I'm thinking of driving my knees forward over my toes and then pushing it back up. Now the primary leg that is working is my left leg in this demonstration here. The one that is elevated will be the one that is working the most. It is working in controlling myself down and working in pushing myself back up. Remember, I'm not thinking of coming up and down. I'm thinking of going forward and backward with horizontal intent. I want to drive my knees over my toes and then push myself forward and backward in a controlled manner. This exercise will primarily work on the quads or the quadricep muscles, which is the thigh muscles, and driving our knees over my toes will accentuate it further. Now, when I'm doing this, I'm also keeping my body relatively upright. I do not want you to lean forward too much or lean backward too far back. I want you to keep relatively upright. And so the aim here is when I'm thinking of doing it is to keep my body upright while driving my knees forward over my toes. In this particular demonstration here, my right foot is the one that's working in controlling myself down and pushing myself back. Now, I'll be performing this movement with a dowel rod. The whole point of a dowel rod is to improve stability. Similarly though, I'm going to rotate my pelvis to ensure that there is no excessive rotation at my pelvis, to ensure that my butt cheek is superimposed onto the other, so that if you're seeing from the side, you cannot see the other butt cheek. And I am lowering myself or pushing myself forward in a controlled manner with my right foot in this video here, the main or primary muscle that is being activated. So I'm thinking with horizontal intent, I'm pushing my knees over my toes forward and then pushing myself back with my right leg. And now with another view here, this is my left foot instead. I'm controlling myself forward and then pushing myself backwards. But the same principle applies in that I'm keeping my torso relatively upright. I'm ensuring my pelvis is not excessively rotated, and then I am allowing my knees to drive over my toes and then pushing myself back with horizontal intent the entire time. Now, where should I hold my dowel rod? My dowel rod should be held on the side opposite to the foot that is being elevated. The whole point of a dowel rod is to improve your base of stability, and hence, if you have one foot elevated and the other side with your other feet in the backward position, you want to have the dowel rod acting as a third feet. And so it should be placed beside you at the relatively same level or same plane as where your main foot that is elevated is, to act as an extra stability and extra base of support. But once again, in terms of how to do this, whether it's with dowel rod or not with a dowel rod, you are going to be doing horizontal intent, meaning going forward and backward, driving your knees over your toes for the foot that is being elevated, keeping your torso relatively upright, doing it in a controlled manner without excessive rotation in the pelvis.